everyone, welcome to my channel Building Cool Stuff, also known as Hope for the Best Painting. It's not known by that name, but I'm hoping for the best. Today we're working on Red Sonja, at least I think this is Red Sonja. It's a 3D model that I bought here in China off of Taobao. I don't know what studio made it, because I'm lazy, I didn't look it up. I'm gonna show you the process that I'm following to paint this model. Usually I use the Mr. Hobby primer that you've seen on the left. However, this time around I've tried Vallejo's primer. It's a water-based primer. Works the same, though I do prefer Mr. Hobby's primers. Mr. Hobby's paints in general, they flow better, they cover better, they're excellent. But for these kind of models I use acrylic paints, water-based paints. Full black cover of the whole model, and then used a light ghost gray, I believe, like light gray primer and white Vallejo paint to do the Zenithal highlighting. This will not probably show that much on a final product, on a final painted model, but it will help me mark where the light will fall. It will help guide me through the paint process. Besides, it's fun. Once you do the Zenithal, it looks very nice. You can see here the blue tack, the Alpha and Omega, a very useful tool for any modeler. And there's nothing for me to say about that. I'm following the skin painting scheme, the paint scheme that I've learned from Ground Affected. I don't know if it's okay to mention another channel in my channel. However, I do, because I've learned from there. Basically, I use the transparent red to mark, to cover all the shadowy parts of the skin. So the whole model is separated in a couple of sections. You have the leg part, the torso with arms, and then the hands are fused with the axe, and the head. So the transparent red for the shadows, and then the mixture of pink and purple paints, both are Vallejo acrylic, water-based acrylics. I do this mix for the highlights, for the lighter parts of the skin. You can clearly see here how Zenithal highlighting helps with marking where to apply the lighter skin tones, where darker. I've used the Green Stuff World set for painting the skin, but you can use any set of 3 shades of skin colors. Well, more than 3, but you start with 3. You have the darker one for the shadows, you have the mid-tone, and you have the very light one for the highlights. Today I've used the Green Stuff World set. Next time will be something else. If you've seen my Logan Wolverine video, I believe I've used a different set altogether, but the colors are important. We're listening to Bullet for a Badman. The song that started is Andaluzijski Mačak. I would like to use any opportunity I can to thank them for letting me use their music. So this is the lightest tone, and you will see now I use it scarcely, not so much, just to mark the highlights. The places where light would directly fall onto the model, onto the skin. As you can see here on the Popeye example that I've painted, his forearms are highlighted with that. Like the lightest tones that you can use. In the end, this is like the magical trick. You use this paint to cover all the shadows and kind of give them back the skin look, the more saturated skin look. Does the trick. Does very well. I use it, I believe, every time I paint skin tones. As you can see, under the armpits, anywhere where there is a shadow on the skin, you can just spray that. The neck, the under the chin. There is a lot of back and forth when painting skin tones. This is not something you can see from my videos, at least, because the edit would be way too long. I have a lot more footage, but I can't put it all in my videos. I'm trying to make them bite-sized, right? Easier to watch. So you can always go back and forth and add more shades and add more colors if you need them. I'm showing you here Nightworks. This is something that I believe is only available in China. They have great hobby / painting tools and materials. I'm trying to use their shadow paints. They're equivalent to Citadel's contrast paints and shades. So just use this. I'm trying to find a substitute for Null Oil by Citadel. Doesn't work that well, but you know, it can dirty up the base. I've done the dry brushing. I've also used some contrast paint with green shades, and for the love of God, I can't remember which one it is. So yeah, Agrexer shade in the end, and then the dry brushing with light gray. Once the airbrushing was done, it was time to do the blocking. Just use the necessary paints to cover all the sections. I love these sets. I was always trying to buy separate colors and paints that I see in YouTube videos, but buying a set like this can be really useful. Especially Green Stuff World, in my opinion, has very good quality paints with great pigment, great binding, great covering properties. Correct me if I'm wrong, this is my experience at least. Cygor Brown for the wood, because the handle of the axe she's holding is basically wood. Now here's the problem. When you're doing something like that, so you have wood, which is brown, you have leather, which is brown, you have some type of fur on her back and her loincloth, which is also some kind of brown. Just use different ones. For the leather itself, leather material, cloth, the darkest brown, but still like chocolatey brown, which is Cygor brown, in my opinion, is the best. And then you just go from there, just use different shades so that your model can look good. I've been running around with this fur, trying to find the right shade. So there is dark umber here. There is chocolate brown. There is Hull Red by AK. In the end, I believe it was the dark umber that covered the whole fur, because it's supposed to be a lighter type of fur. I can say it, I'm not very good at this, but basically my idea was do the color for the fur, do a contrast paint just to sip in the crevices, and then do the dry brushing of some light tone, and that should be it, right? The loincloth was easy, like I said, Cygor brown, and then just waiting to be dry brushed later for that leathery look. Yep, dry brushing. Now a lot of people will use dry brushes specific for that. We all know by now what they look like. However, for me, a flat top brush like this, a little bit stiff, is more accurate. I find it more useful. Though you need to pick up the paint more often. But I find them, like I said, more precise, more on the point for what I need them for. Two boots with fur and dry brushing needed on the leather itself. There are also straps. So now you need to differentiate between the straps on the boots and the fabric on the boots. The bra here, I used dark umber. This is the first time I was trying this paint, and I find it really useful for these kind of models. For a lot of leather, a lot of some kind of worn out old cloths. This is very good. Lead belcher for metal. I've learned this painting Citadel. I've learned this painting Warhammer. If you need metal, you do the Citadel lead belcher. You cover it with Null Oil, and then I used Vallejo's chrome paint, just like super glowy, like silvery metal, and just dry brush that. That's it. Looks very realistic, very nice. If you ask me, I don't know, could be wrong. If you're enjoying this music as much as I am, feel free to follow the link in my description and just find this music. Obviously, for all the bones, because she has some kind of skull on her shoulder, I used Ushapti bone. And she's got more of these leather straps on her body, so I use Cygor Brown once again for it. You just gotta be careful, because at this point it's really difficult to go back and cover any mistakes with skin colors. Gold, another trick that I've learned from painting Warhammer. So Retributor armor for gold, cover it with sepia, and just dry brush it with some light. I usually dry brush it with silver again. I'm showing here the set of browns that I've been using a lot. It's really useful to have a lot of different shades when going through a model like this. Dactan, another very useful paint that you can use in so many places. I use it here to dry brush onto the lighter type of fur. Use it later for the eyes too. Every time you need to cover a surface that's maybe primed with black, you need to cover it with some yellow or green or red. You're gonna use Dactan first and then cover it with the desired color. Do yourself a favor, if you're into this hobby, buy a bunch of these very cheap one-time use brushes. These in particular are more than excellent for me for dry brushing. Here in China I buy them off of Taobao, and I think I buy them for like 100 pieces for 40 yuan, something like stupid cheap. Dry brushing the fur, and I'll say it again, a lot of back and forth here with painting this model. So for the fur, I did dry brush, then I went back and did a full cover with this Null Oil again, and dry brush again. And you know, it's your playground. Do whatever you want to do, whatever you feel like doing, and just, you know, hope for the best. The idea behind putting a contrast paint onto the fur was let it sip, let it collect in the crevices. Just get that 3D look onto your painted surface. I wanted to go with a slightly lighter gold. You pronounce it, I can't. Uric gold for the coins she's got hanging around her waist. And a lighter brown for the dry brushing of the leather straps and leather cloth. Dry brush light colors onto the wood. Like, you can go with Dactan or Ushapti bone over the wood as long as you dry brush with offloaded paint off of your brush. It'll be fine. Went back and did the Ushapti bone on the skull on her shoulder too. After that, I did another pass with Agrag Surf Shade and dry brushing. I needed to find the right shade of red for her red hair because she is Red Sonja, right? So I used Red Hull and Morphin Brown from Citadel, Red Hull from AK, and maybe some other browns I'm not really sure about. So as you can see, my wet palette is full of different browns, so just mix it up. The model is yours. Do the blocking and you can proceed with airbrushing the shade or just applying with your brush. So basically apply a contrast paint or so, or just go directly to dry brushing on top. Bones need Agrag Surf Shade, Earth Shade contrast paint on it. Also Cygor Brown once again for the straps, or maybe some other type of brown, perhaps. Basically, you need to make it pop. You're not gonna do it by using the same brown for all the straps, same brown for all the fur. It's up to you to make it different, to make it pop. All the gold gets covered in sepia. Seraphim Sepia by Citadel works great. Agrag Surf Shade once again for the skull. I just wanted to make it dirty and to get on the details, because if you just leave it painted like that, then it's very obviously just painted, right? The more you add on it, the more defined the shapes will be. And my dry brush palette, 3D printed dry brush palette, which really helps offload this brush for you. Dry brush the same chrome or silver paint onto the details, such as those coins hanging off her belt. Dry brush something like back tan onto the bones just to give these highlights. Make sure you dry brush different type of colors onto the straps around the wood and the wood itself, although both of them are kind of brownish. By dry brushing different shades, you'll get that 3D look and you'll give them different look. I'm not very eloquent, I'm sorry, it's not my language. Maybe I should do this in Serbian. Alright, this is about the end. I took my super glue and put it all together. The final details, the one thing that I do believe I forgot was to do the face, eyes and lips. And we're almost at the end, almost at the victory dance. I wish you guys could post your photos onto YouTube comment section, just like you can do it on Instagram, because I'm really curious to see other people's workbenches, because mine, I call it creative mess, just because I don't want to call it the right name. It's awful messy. When I'm working, like I can clean up before I start, and then gradually as I go, it gets more and more messy. Alright, a few last steps, working on the hair and the eyes. I'm always panicking when I'm doing the facial details. Working on the eyes. At this point, you can't, like, fixing it would mean redoing everything again. I should probably do the eyes before I did the hair, because if I need to redo the skin on the face, it would be much easier without doing the hair first. So for the eyes, and for the lips, I use this Drucci Violet, if I said it correctly. Use the Choco Brown for her eyebrows, and I pulled little strands of hair, if you will. I pulled little hair, even though she's got 3D modeled eyebrows. But I still wanted to do it as closely as I can to a realistic look. Then use the black for some sort of mascara. Use the same black for her strap on her forehead. She's got a strap with some golden ring. Auric gold for her ring on the forehead. Dactan for the eyes, because eyeballs are never really truly shining white. It would make it look very weird. I've learned that from other painters. Dactan is white enough, just be careful. Like, steady hands are very important here. A lot of people say, oh, you paint this, you must be so patient. Steady hands, patience, but also there is a lot of technique. You see how I place my fingers? Just stabilize your hand. Make the movement you need to do minimal. When you do the irises, she's a red hair, so I've imagined that she has green eyes. However, you do the brown for the irises first, and then within the brown you do the green, the desired eye color. That way she's not gonna look like an alien. It will give her a more realistic look on her eyes. And the very pupils in the end, using black, whatever. This is the Auroch skin, Auroch flesh green that I use for the eyes. It looks nice. Drucci Violet for the lips, because she's not supposed to have too much lipstick. She's a wildling. Almost there, guys, almost there. Last step before gluing the head onto the body was dry brushing of her hair. It took me about, I think, a week and a half, 2 weeks to do this. I started it alongside the Wolverine that I've painted, but it took me months to actually sit and finish the editing of the video. Is there any better way, using AI or something? Just upload all the footage and have AI cut all the video. As much as I enjoy doing this, it just takes too much time. Quite tedious. There we go! The victory dance. This is what I wanted to do, and this is what I did. This is the final look of Red Sonja. I love the model. It was a lot of fun painting it. Learned a thing or two. I have more experience now painting this fur, but it looks quite decent. Made a few mistakes while painting Sigor Brown onto her loincloth. I did have I accidentally touched the skin, but it's under the loincloth, so I didn't want to go back and fix it. You can't see it here. Drop a comment, it helps my channel a lot. Drop a comment, say what you like, or even better, what you don't like. I will learn more from those comments rather than you saying this is awesome. Thank you very much for watching. I hope I'll see you again. Feel free to give a like to this video. Yep. And while I was too lazy to do editing for this video, I did some other models, so here. Bonus. Do tell me if you know where this model is from. We know this one. This is Ronin. And that's all. Yeah, until next video. Big shout out for my friends, the band Bullet for a Badman. Find them following the link in my description and enjoy their music even more than you enjoy my awesome videos. Bye bye.